How do you think about the physical typecasting part of auditions?
Oh, it's really annoying. But also when you sit behind the table, it's like you get, I think it matters to a certain degree. I do find that some people just are really uncreative.
Mm-hmm.
When I auditioned for Beauty and the Beast, they had us line up all the bells in the callback. It was also an open callback, which was ridiculous, but non-union. And so we had to take our hair down. And so they were so uncreative that we needed to look the part. And now you have this version of Beauty and the Beast at the Muni, which is played by a large black woman. And I'm like, why haven't we done this before? There is nothing in the show that says what she looks like. It just says she's beautiful. And this woman, you should listen to her sing this song. She is beautiful, but she looks nothing like the cartoon character. And so it's like if people just allowed that to happen, art would be so much more interesting.
Yeah.
However, then also there are times where it's like, I even see a movie, and I remember, did you see, oh my God, what is that movie about the train that can't stop because it's like the end of the world and the people who survived live on a train?
I know what you're talking about, but I can't think of the name of the movie.
Like
Is there a lot of bad weather that's going on? Like it's very snowy vibes.
Yeah, because it's global warming. I think is what it was. Just like everything. Yeah, but Chris Evans, who is a phenomenal actor, I've seen him on Broadway too, and he's great. He plays the lead of this, and just personally, I'm like, this guy is not with the poor people. He's just not. Look at him. That's Captain America. He is not there. It makes no sense. So sometimes I do find that, like, I mean, I think the casting there was weird. They should have gone with someone different. And actually, Daveed Diggs plays that part in the show. They made a TV show version. But sometimes it absolutely does matter. You want to someone who is going to fit like blue collar or fit the tall model looking thing. So while it is annoying, and I do think that there's a lot of discrimination on things that are even minuscule. Obviously, there's racism and there's things that are really tiny. Like I've even found, and this sounds so lame when you compare it to racism, and it is lame compared to that, but I feel that with curly hair, it's hard to pull off the same look as these women who come in and look like they're going into a sorority. They're like thin, their hair is perfectly in every single place. And so I find that I always look quirky or like messy with curly hair, but I don't want to straighten it because it's not who I am. You know?
That's a lot of work too.
It is a lot of work. And I'll straighten it for a job. I straighten it for fun, but it's like I'm trying to show you who I am, but in the character. So like my version of the character. And I mean, I've been told weird things. Someone told me once that I couldn't play American. I was talking about a movie.
You couldn't play an American?
An American. I'm so American. Also, what does American look like? Everyone. I
mean, 2022 could, the American is the guy or girl you walk out of your apartment and, maybe that person's wearing a 3-piece suit. Maybe they just threw up behind a dumpster. Maybe it's both. Maybe they're in a 3-piece suit behind a dumpster and the next day they're wearing sweatpants. Like, I feel like American is so flexible now where it doesn't, there's just so much room to cast an American person logistically. Like they don't have to, there's not that much or not as much of an expectation, I feel like, from the viewers end, where I don't have to stretch my imagination to see someone as American. If I find out they're American in the film, it's just like, that person looks however they look, and also they were born in America.
Right. Yeah.
There's a lot of wiggle room with American.
Yeah. And I honestly, when people say that, and this wasn't said by an American, but when people say that, what they're saying is white, which has a ton of problems in its own, is that saying that American means white. And also, it's an issue to say, I don't look white.
Yeah.
It's bizarre.
The guy or whoever was casting said you didn't look white, so that's why you couldn't be American?
It was a movie. He was telling me about this movie he was making that he wanted to cast the guy I was seeing at the time in. And it was about like a couple going to India. He's from India. And I was like, I could play the girlfriend. He was like, she's American. I was like, what? He's like, you don't look like you're from America. Like, you look ethnic. It's like, if any of you could see what I look like, it's, like, it's just this weird concept of what do you mean? And then, you get into the whole like Jewish look thing where it does come down to where it's like Jewish shouldn't really have a look because there are a ton of different Jewish people. However, it still does have a stereotypical look, and I do fit into that.
Yeah.
And so that then opens a conversation into, should Jews be playing Jewish roles? Because that's a big thing. It's a big talk happening right now.
Yeah. How do people think about certain people being cast as a type? Let's say, for example, Bryan Cranston. He walks around. He's not paralyzed, but he played a paralyzed person from the neck down in that movie with Kevin Hart, where he was a billionaire, rich guy, could walk in real life, but he was playing a person who's a quadriplegic. And then some people, I don't think most people cared, but some people were saying, oh, they should have given that part to someone who is actually a quadriplegic. Which, sure, if you find someone that is as good of an actor as the other people that were going out for that part, that's also a quadriplegic, I think that would be great. But then also, wouldn't a big part of acting be you're not a quadriplegic, but you have to study movements and speech patterns and gestures of people who are quadriplegic to make that believable on screen?
Yeah.
That makes sense?
It totally makes sense. And it is a really, I find, nuanced thing because, yeah, you're an actor and that's what you're trained to do. But on the other side of it, you do have amazing actors who are quadriplegics, who are little people, who are like in a wheelchair and who are trying to be actors. And so when they're not even seen for roles to tell their own stories, it's kind of like, well, they can't be the lead in... what's that show that he does that everyone's obsessed with?
Oh, Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad, yeah. It's like they're not going to get all of those parts. Then a part finally comes where it's like, actually, you probably understand this on an even deeper level, but now they're just going to give it to a guy who's playing every other part right now.
Yeah.
And so that's where it gets tricky because, yeah, actors should be able to do that. Like even in school, I learned about stuff like that. But now it is getting to a point where it's like, but what about the people that are also trying to have careers in acting that are also, they are good at acting? And I agree with you that it's kind of like, well, would you rather someone who can act but is actually experiencing that? But I think people would be surprised how many people there are that are actually really good actors that we just don't know about because there's no parts for them.
Yeah. So I watched the show Sex Education with my girlfriend, and she was telling me that one of the main characters in the show, he's in a wheelchair, has cerebral palsy, has motor problems in the show, and apparently they liked him so much as an actor that they just wrote his wheelchair and cerebral palsy into the part. So I feel like that could also be a solution too, where if you really like someone just because of their acting skills and there needs to be something that's written into the part for them, you could also just make them in a wheelchair in the show, even if you weren't planning on it. Hey guys, this is a quick reminder to check out AUXORO Premium, the best deal in premium podcasting. On AUXORO Premium, you gain access to bonus episodes, the unlicensed therapy series, the ability to submit topic suggestions for the podcast, exclusive Ask Me Anything episodes, and the entire premium catalog for only $5 per month. Go to auxoro.supercast.com, that's AUXORO.supercast.com, to join the premium gang today.